Oh yeah, yeah. That's all acidosis. You know, your skin, man, not to be, your skin is probably the easiest type of conditions to clean up. I've had cases of psoriasis so bad. So she's got some sediment in there, which is excellent. But you want to dig in and dig in and dig in, because look at how large your skin is. And I've been showing you the lymphatic system in the finger. You know, they're my little props. But I mean, so you can imagine the lymphatic system throughout the whole body. I mean, just freaking amazing. It's all amazing. But you got to keep working on that and keep pulling that right out of the kidneys. I hope this picture is just a picture of, because how old are you? You got a lot of wrinkles going on there on the chest wall there, sweetheart. Abnormally so. Oh, look what we got, boys and girls. Look what we've got. We've got eyes. Holy crap. And look at the radii solar. Oh, us. All right, top is left, bottom is right. Okay, so there's the left eye. Wow. Well, we have brown eyes, no question. Boy, holy moly, what's up in here? Holy crap. So, left eye, we got here. We've got left ear. We've got cerebellum, maybe some mastoid involvement. We got, my opinion, these are possible brain lesions at this point, or going to be. And look, this is going right up into center, mid and center brain. Come in here, picking up a pituitary. Come in here, picking up a pineal gland. Let me see where we are here. Okay, so left side. Let me get myself back oriented. Back. Look up and down her whole back. Let me do this to give you an idea. This is the left eye right here. All right, so this is the back. Holy crap. And this is her, I'll circle her left kidney. Here's her knee, her left knee. I'm up here, bronchial trunk and lung over here. Over here, lung. But look at this kidney. Where am I? 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 Look at that kidney, left kidney. And then here's lower back, which goes with the kidney, right? And this is possible bladder. I mean, we're right here at the bladder. And this might be uteri. Okay. And we've got a left knee. You got a left knee going on there that you want to be careful. But these dark lines you see are called radius solaris. And all we can say about them is they're deep toxic tunnels of weaknesses. And they all spring from the gut tissue. And it really gives you an example of why the chart Jensen had and N.W. Walker had on the gut, on the colon, and how the colon was almost like an electrical panel when relationships of everywhere. And why wouldn't there be? So, and I've said this before, as electrical food is passed through the gut, it releases its electricity. Well, where does that go? Well, it goes to the autonomic. And again, people are so agglomerated interstitially in the intestinal walls that you don't get that like you should. But when you're cleaner, you can feel the electricity of raw foods. And you want that because that electricity, and I've mentioned this before, is consciousness. So your question is, what is that constituent passing on to the respective part of the body that it's designed to? What type of communication? What type of energy? What's going on there? These are deep levels of nano, sub-nano levels. Who knows? You know, that's what I'm saying. The communication is deep. I mean, we've only divided these worlds up into the mental, you got 3 mental worlds, basically, if you add the etheric, the id. So then you got the astral and you got the physical, but what do we got below that? And because when you really get into some of these sub-nano levels, all you see is light. All you see is light structures. And it's like, what's going on in those light structures? What's the consciousness? Why do we eat? Why does a cell need energy for in the first place? It's already in. I mean, you look at these, the egg and the sperm and all that, they already know where to go. They don't need food. It's interesting because the energy is at the core of everything that is done in creation. Yet energy in quantum physics is intelligence. Well, in the spiritual world, we call intelligence consciousness. Intelligence, consciousness, awareness, all those things are the words we give to that which gives you the ability to listen to me and the ability to listen to anything else, to see anything else, to experience anything else. How you experience something mentally, how you experience something emotionally, how you experience something physically is all up to you and your journey and what you do with that experience. But the individual experiencing the mind, the emotions, and the physical is you, the awareness behind all of that. And that awareness is the same with all of us. We all are that awareness. So, right side. Oh, look at the right eye. Okay, holy moly. Okay. So let me circle some things for you here. Again, right kidney and adrenal glands, chronic. You see the nerve rings in the eye here. The right leg, honey, your right leg, is this a male or female? All right. Naida. Anaida. I am Romanian. 30 years young. 30 years old, sweetheart, and you've got these deep radius solaris. You got to get them out of here. You got to work this program for yourself because you've got some deep weaknesses. You got to get that out of there because it's going to keep following your genetic downline. And then the children are going to have some really problems that we don't really want to get into. She's 3 years ago. I don't know. How much is 160 centimeters tall? I don't know what that is. 3 years ago, I began experiencing symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. Oh, you think? Holy crap. IBS and burnout. I had to take a break from my work as a psychotherapist. Oh, wow. Because I was so exhausted that I couldn't get out of bed. Look at that crap. Well, your adrenals are chronic, sweetheart, and you've got rings in your eyes to show that. You see these rings here? Those rings, it goes on up. Those are nerve rings, and that's what happens when you drop a certain low production of neurotransmitters. You ruin your myelin sheaths. It's kind of like if you don't run that highway, you lose the highway, and that's kind of what people's doing. Your blood pressure's going down. Eventually, it'll go the other way because the kidneys will really get in trouble. But initially, these blood pressures are low. And a low systolic blood pressure is telling you you have a low adrenal function. And that is your emotional world, right? But it's also your sexual world. It's also your utilization of your metabolistic world of sugars and minerals. I mean, when you look at the adrenals and the amount of steroids produced and for what reasons, it's amazing, you know. You've got a lot going on between the medulla and the cortex of the adrenal glands. Remember, you always have an inner part, the medulla, and the outer part of a gland, cortex, and they each produce different things. Oh, so what we got here, okay. So this is the right eye. The right back is going to have some there. Let me point out. Here's a parathyroid. So I'm going to guess your height is either short or tall, And my guess with these, it's going to be short. You've got a chronic kidney here. And again, looking up here, look at this pituitary and pineal all up in this area. And this is up in the sinuses, by the way. Now, look at this prolapsing right here. It kind of goes down like this. See that? And then right here you've got a spot in the colon. So this is a right eye. This is the colon side. And right there you've either got a ballooning, a pinching, and then here you got a prolapsing of the bowel. So if I'm going to think maybe parathyroid. I'm really low there about the throat area. This could be more parathyroid right there. It doesn't matter about that because you've got this pituitary, and that will shut that down and this down and everything else down. Plus, they're already down. So you really got some detox to do. I'd rather use the word detox regeneration because that's what you have to do is you need to regenerate your body a little bit, your physical body, because you've got all these radius solaris, these black lines, and there's nothing good to say about them. Matter of fact, sweetheart, on your right side, these are very deep, and you might not have had a scan yet in your brain, but it'd be rare that you wouldn't have a brain lesion there. These are pretty deep. So that's the CNS. That's the hard drive. That's the Mr. Wizard of the Wizard of Oz. So I would do circulation. If you can't afford it, at least do brain and nerve. The new formulas are brain as nerve power. And so, but they won't be out for like 6 weeks. But so we've got brain and nerve. Definitely you're going to take off with the kidneys, the lymphatic system. I would do a parathyroid glandular, low dose, 50 milligrams, 1 a.m., 1 p.m., BID, that sort of thing. I would also take the pituitary formula on top of the endocrine gland formula. I really would, herbal-wise, because you've got to move out some lymph and get up here and get these sinuses drained and repair these areas. And you can only repair tissue in an alkaline medium. There's no repairing of tissue in a corrosive medium. And so how do you get an alkaline medium? How do you get pH balances? I mean, that's heavily into that right now for the classes for you and the book and stuff. And it's like, my question to a medical doctor or to a biochemist, how do you achieve homeostasis between cytoplasm, interstitial fluid with chemistry? How do you do that? And that's the whole issue is, as a biochemist, you can't bring chemistry in the body into a homeostatic state. You can't do it. It's impossible. You have to go to why the chemistry is out of balance in a human being. Number one, the diet. Man's diet is atrocious. I don't even know what to say about it. Right? It's so bad that we have child services willing to take your kids if you don't treat them, give them bad food. You can't give your kids good food anymore and give them healthy foods anymore. But you need to bring live food in. What does that do? Magnetically, you're bringing in electrons. Why? You've got protons and electrons. What side? When you look at the atom, what do you got? You got a little nucleus, right? And in that nucleus, you've got protons centered, right? Protons are what? The men. They want to steal the ladies circling around the men, the electrons. You want electron-rich diet if you want to bring hydration to the physical body. That's chemistry. It's the only way you can do it. So your diet is uno, number one always. And look at the magic when you move to a fruit and berry and melon diet. Now, have a salad once in a while, I don't care. But look at the magic, what happens. And we've always said, go 2 weeks, go a month like that, and then go out and have you a big steak and potatoes and whatever else you want with it. See what you think. Smack! I'm going to tell you. And a smack can be hard, too. You need to be careful about that. The longer you go, the purer you get, the harder the smack back. That's all I can tell you. I've had some smack backs myself. You know, when you're out there as fruitarian and you try to come back, it's rough. It's rough because everything is different, from the texture to the concentration of things, and you're used to being light and free. Your body's used to moving without impedance, without obstructions. And there's nothing like it. I don't even know how you can explain it to someone unless you go through that doorway. All right, so let's read on here. Sorry about that. Okay, so I frequently experienced severe IBS episodes, often vomiting until I was completely drained and had to be hospitalized to receive medication infusions. These treatments provided temporary relief, but the symptoms returned after 2 days. Holy crap, honey. Well, one thing is for sure, and even in the stomach, you've got some weaknesses. Some of these radius solaris go all the way down to the stomach, right into the stomach tissue. So I can see that. That's why you never want to do proteins when you have eyes like this. You just you just end up making this acidic medium worse and worse and worse. When you look at the proteins, the grains and the beans and things like this, you have a higher proton side than you do the electron side. So you have an acid-ash food, an acid-forming food. You can't make that magically turn into an alkaline ash food by bicarbonate, medical doctors. If you think that, your thoughts are off. And you can't prove it because you don't see that. If you see enough patients like I have, you don't see what you're claiming. I was confused and started searching for solutions and treatments. You know, and there's a lot of these young people like this. I'm telling you. So you guys are so valuable at going, hey, let me help you. I know the answer. You know what? That's why you guys are so important to this world. I can't even tell you. The world is going, man. It's going down the rabbit hole. Excuse me. Because my condition had deteriorated to the point where I couldn't leave the house. Holy crap, man. The mental and emotional exhaustion combined with my sensitivity led to agoraphobia, I bet, claustrophobia. Oh, my God. Panic attack? Yeah, it's totally adrenals. Yeah, well, I can see why. I don't know how low your blood pressure got, but you got nerve rings all over the place. Definitely chronic adrenals. Definitely. With that said, you have a chronic pituitary. Well, ACTH, right, is an activator of a lot of adrenal steroids. Where does it come from? Pituitary. So all these igniting hormones, my opinion, they're suppressed. So you can't ignite the parathyroid or thyroid or turn on the adrenals or anything like that. So you look at that, but then you got to look at the gland in and of itself and say, hey, how are you? Oh, not so good, huh? Ooh. And your boss is not doing good either. So this is why I've been harping for all these years for the young people. You know, try to wake up as soon as you can, because the way the adults are handling things, I don't know what's going on here. You know, it's just that people have to get awake to this, to the reality of the diets suck. The diet, man's chemistry is his problem. But man's listening to this propaganda-rich medical world that'll say and do nothing and stop at nothing to treat you. Take your kids. I mean, which side of the force is that on? That's not difficult to determine, is it? I read your detox book and changed my diet cautiously, attempting to eat as raw as possible. And she brings up a good point. I can see what she's saying in the beginning statement there, because when you're so inflamed in the gut, vegetables are not the answer, believe it or not. If you want to do vegetable matter, juice it. You know, juice your greens. But when you're IBS, Crohn's, you're highly inflamed from the interstitial areas out, you're burning in, out, you want to cool all that down. Things like apples and grapes, things that are in the middle of a sub-acid category maybe, sweet fruits, things like that, apple sauces with cinnamon, things like this that have fresh made applesauce with cinnamon, things like this that help to impart that electrical hydration. At the same time, you got to get your kidneys filtering, because what system are you being chewed on? Not the blood's not chewing on you. That's not its job, right? Your lymph is chewing on you bad, sweetheart. And you were born with all these deep radius solaris, so your family's got some serious health things going on there. And you're 30, and I'm thinking of your babies and the future and your downline. So we've got to get ourselves together, don't we? As raw as possible, but my symptoms worsened. As I delivered deeper into the detox process, as I delved deeper into the detox process, I developed a severe rash that burned and itched intensely. Yeah, here comes the detox. That's why. Oh, man. And sometimes when you get that rash and itch, it drives you friggin' nuts. I had this female fire lady, poor thing. She detoxed and she got the skin eruption, that itch, just full of fungus. So when you see the adrenals down, metabolism is down, because metabolism of minerals and sugars and stuff are done through the adrenals. It's obvious, right? So now you've got metabolism of sugars are down. So if your metabolism of sugars down, who do you invite in the body? Yeah, your little sugar metabolizers, fungus, little suckers. Yeah, and that's why the itching and the craze. You're loaded with fungus, honey. But that would be the answer. Now, what else is now, I'm saying light, but I want to see what else stands out. And I really didn't pay any attention, but because I'm drawn in by the magic of the radii solaris, but what else stands out pretty strongly? Skin ring, scurf ring, skin ring. Some of this is, a little shadowing, but this is still a scurf ring. That's your skin. So everything that deals with elimination is down with you. You're holding everybody home. And this is what happens when you hold everybody home. Your skin is exploding, and that's just what you're seeing there. And that's the not the fun side of detox. That's for dang sure. But your biggest thing is to use herbs to buffer. And that's the beauty of herbs, to buffer this inflamed bowel while you're doing raw. You could use slippery elm, marshmallow. I mean, there's a lot of we have a great stomach tea, things like that, that's anti-inflammatory. And that'll also do a little hepatic and pancreatic, here we go. So that's how you make an herbal formula, and that's what you would want to use while you're doing this to heal this gut up. But remember, most of this inflammation in the gut is inside of you. You're still on the outside going in, though. But once you get absorbed through the fenestrated cells, now you've got it. Now you own it. And your body's got to deal with it. Other than that, it can poop it out. Give you a little diarrhea. Get out of here! Oh, okay. I can bet you were having a very deep detox for sure. I spent hours in cold water with bicarbonate because scratching caused painful wounds. Oh, yeah. No, I'm so familiar with this, I can't even tell you, honey. I can't even tell you. We've talked about it before, but we haven't talked about it in a while yet. And that, oh, my God. I know. This issue began after I started using a wet sauna. Well, I don't know what to say about that. When you sweat, you bring the fungus out, and then you start itching. And you just have to, I would take a lot of Parasite M. Now, we have new names coming for you, but parasite M would be for microorganisms, anything antifungal, and start bringing that home. I would do at least 2 or 3 dropperfuls of that 3 or 4 times a day. I'd be going after this. At the same time, and I think you are getting your kidneys to filter, that is vital, because you have to start getting these acids out of your system, because you got to repair these radius solaris. I can just tell you, and they are repairable. I've seen people get rid of them, and so, but they're deep, and that's why you're going through so much trouble. With the guidance of a student from your school, I realized that my kidneys were not filtering properly. I love you students. You guys are good. See how smart you guys are? I mean, come on, man. We're not filtering properly, causing acids to be expelled through my skin. Thank you. Smart students. Love you guys. I focused on improving kidney filtration and made some progress. My blood pressure is, hold on, wait for it. 95. Now that's low, but there's some with 80. But that's low. 95 is low, but you're over 72. Now, in my experience, 60 is better. When you're above 70, it's a little bit of an inflammatory issue in the kidneys for me. I'm starting to go, what's going on with the kidneys now? Right? I'm going to correlate that with your urinalysis to see, and your blood work to see what your creatinine is. I want to see what your bud's doing. That's your protein intake. I'm going to be looking at all that to see just what's going on there, right? Outside of what we already know. If I become fatigued, it triggers IBS and a panic attack. Well, that means your adrenals just went, I think I'll take a break. Yeah, what do you need? Talk to the other adrenal gland. I'm on break. I mean, this is the sort of thing that you can get into here. My sweat stings. Whoo-wee. Does your rings also does your rings fade off onto your skin? Like your silver break down on your skin at all? See, and that's when you start seeing that, you're in real trouble. And when your tears burn you and when your sweat burns you, how acidic is that? And Mr. Medical Doctor, that's not alkalis. That's acids. And this is exactly what she's going through. Very acidic. And when you start seeing how acidic, it's getting, holy crap. She even sweats acids. And that's exactly what's going on, see? So again, instilling that lymph system is your first system you're going to go down, because you're going to get those kidneys opened up, because without that, just like the student said, your skin is up for grabs, which kind of means you also have a little stagnant thyroid. You want to put a basal temperature or a thermometer under your arm, check your basal temperatures. It doesn't have to be a basal thermometer, but see what you are, because if you're running a little on the cold side, that means your thyroid is down as well, and that means that's going to hold the skin even more. You need temperature. You need to sweat. You need to open that doorway up. But again, because you see your kidney filtration not there, now it's starting to be, now that sweat you'll find that coming away, going away. That's why, again, going up to the diet, that's why electron-rich diet, an electrical diet, an alkaline diet is key, essential for all species. I was looking at this. I've asked Pat to send me if she had any information on the fenestrated cells of a carnivore as opposed to those of an omnivore and those of a frugivore, because I wanted to look at the cat gut, and since it's different than the humans, I wanted to see about the fenestrated cells and the conditions that would be in, the absorbability and the capillary absorbability of proteins. Very important looking at that when you're looking at a carnivore versus a frugivore. How acceptable are the blood capillaries to proteins, which in both species they're not. Matter of fact, what was interesting, when you saw the chyme leaving the stomach, it had to get to an alkaline state, and they ran a capsule down that registered pHs as the process of digestion took place. And you still saw the extreme need to have an alkaline slurry by the time your pancreatic trypsin and chymotrypsin and that sort of thing is tripped to then finish the breakdown of protein structures and polypeptide structures, that sort of thing, to get to our finally to our amino acids. So our bitch in naturopathy has always been, well, why not just eat your fruit and your vegetables, which is a far closer stage to the amino acids, and you don't have the heavy acid hit that you do with a heavy protein like a bean or a meat or something. And when you're in this state, you don't want to consume any acid-ash foods. How you get over that? See, in chemistry or in physics, all of it's just swirling and mixing because you have two sides to things. The positive and the negative, you call it that way. However you want to label those. Now, I can eat mostly raw food in difficult days when I rely on cooked food. Generally, my diet consists of 70% raw and 30% cooked foods, including vegetable proteins, such as soy, hummus, and salad. Throw the hummus and the soy in the wastebasket, lady. They're just those are going to exacerbate your problems. Get rid of those. You don't need them. You need a fruit, berry, and a melon diet. You want to get on with this. If you're eating a lot of vegetables, this is going to be a very slow detox. Call me in a year. Let me know how you're doing. You know, if you really want to kick it up, which is what you really need to do, go fruits, berries, and melons. Get rid of the vegetables. We're not vegetable eaters. I find it interesting how, a grizzly bear can sit there or whatever and graze on sage grass like a cow, and yet they don't have the design. They're further from a herbivore than we are. Interesting. I also consume, wait for it, coffee. Oh, there you go, pouring acid right down in your system again to manage my daily task. Well, you're looking for an adrenal popper, get yourself a 400 milligram glandular of the adrenals, or get you some licorice root. You probably want to have some licorice root anyway, sweetheart. I'd recommend that. Your blood pressure's too low. But I submit your kidney pressure's too high, which is just the story of what your problem is the kidneys. And you look at your eye, you see chronic kidneys. It all just kind of goes together here. And once you understand how the body works simplistically, you're going, oh, I get it. Man's foods are very mucus forming, very congested, very mucosic, I call it, responsive. Your body's not designed to consume acids because acids are generally the byproducts of the consumption of alkalis. So the body has to get rid of the acids from metabolism, from cells and the like. And so just the activity, the kinetic activity of the body is creates an acid experience. I mean, this is lactic acid. Now, can I get rid of you? And soy, holy crap. Thank you, Monsanto, for lying so bad. I mean, the corruption of these friggin' people are beyond belief. They had us all believing soy was a good product. I had health food stores since 1972 and 3 and 4. Somewhere in those years. And, of course, soy was pushed. And I knew it was a Monsanto thing because we were farmers. And my dad never had anything good to say about soybeans, ever. Never. They sold them because they had a market for them, but they had nothing good to say about them. My dad said, a worthless bean. I also consume, I've observed that my kidney filtration improves with dry fasting, but worsens when I eat only raw food. Well, you can't judge that because you can't dry fast all the time, and I don't advise that, and I've never advised that. Some people will say, Dr. Morse kills people because he advises long-term dry fasting. These are people with screws loose in their head. Could you show me where I said that or anything else? You know, and that's why I say sometimes we get in such a shape that we pick this up and we can't stop. We keep going down. Hillary's a good example, digging deeper and deeper and deeper. You know, me and Shannon tried many, many times to get her to break the fruit fast and diet and get on some vegetables a little bit to break that up because you're just, nope. I am attaching photos of my iris, and yeah, I see all that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Anita. I tell you what, sweetheart, you get yourself focused. You get away from the vegetables. Get this protein thing out of your head. Number one, step on the word protein. Your body can't use proteins externally anyway. It's a process of amino acid procuring anyway. So when you look at the digestive process, that should answer your questions right there about complex protein structures and what the body has to do to actually utilize anything from that. So when you start to look at that and finally realize, well, wait a minute, why is my body energetically going all that trouble? Because every phase is an energetic phase. Life is nothing but kinetic energy at all levels. So when you start, and your adrenals are low, your neurological functions are low and chronic, and you're looking for energy, and yet everything you're doing is taking energy to consume, to break down. See, it only makes sense when you have no energy and you're just out, you want nothing but electrical foods, right? Why would you eat a dead food that requires your energy to deal with it? You don't have any energy. You're already like this. And you're eating cooked dead foods? Where's your energy coming from? Where's your electrons coming from? You're destroying that whole atomic nature there. You're building the proton side of it. And that creates dehydration. Man gets dehydrated just from his diet alone. But you've got a thick wall, so you have a lot of malabsorption. There's a malabsorption ring around your pupil. But you also, I'm looking at this colon right here, your ascending bowel here. You've got a ballooning or something right here mid-area. Now, let me see while I'm looking at this. You know what I would also work on, honey? I'd take the liver gallbladder formula. Your gallbladder is not real happy, and neither is your pancreas. So it wouldn't hurt to add some more. When you're looking at cells that are sitting there going, well, I don't know what my job is. I don't know. I'm not doing too good in this lifetime. Well, what perks them up? It has to be something the divine does. We can't make something in the laboratory like God makes. Come on. So what can perk up a cell? Living, vibrant food. Of course it does. It's electrical and it's conscious. That's what we have to get with, is that everything has a certain level of consciousness to it. A certain level of beingness, of why it exists in the first place. And why our bodies are designed to pick and eat the fruit. We don't have to hurt anything. We don't have to kill a vegetable, because this is a fruit, a gift. Like berries, these are gifts. Look at that alone. I think this was Alone Australia. And it just ended, the American one just ended this last Thursday, and the Australian one the Thursday before. And I think that 70-some days, this guy, oh man, he did it, but man, he wasn't doing too good, let's put it that way. You know, they come up to tell him he was the winner, and he said, excuse me, bleh. You know, poor guy. But the female, I thought she was going to win. She had had no animal products for 70-some, almost 80 days. She looked the best. She had the most energy. And all these other ones were struggling because of the meat side of that. And yet this one, I think it really just got to her the alone state. But when you go out and you want to play the alone state, you got to play the alone state. You go through that state. It's a doorway. And your attention wants to grab something to occupy it, but the doorway is the alone state. And that's where you meet everybody else. But you need to spend some time detoxing and get your health together, sweetheart. Everything you're saying to us is crying and begging for help. You're sweating acids. You're burning with your sweat. I know totally what that is. Totally. I mean, I've been through a lot myself personally all these years. And, of course, how many people have I seen all these years? So it's just all this is fixable. Don't lose faith. Use vegetables as a balancing tool if you have to steam them. But stay away from protein, soys, hummus, all this crap like this. You're in trouble. And you're in trouble in the sense that if you don't have Lou Gehrig's or MS or Parkinson's in your family line, that's the line you're moving down toward. And I'm only using their names, but basically neurological problems. You can just see that in your eye coming. And we do not want to live there. And this radius solaris, this right side, sweetie, these are dark. And I've always seen brain lesions when you have them at that level. So get up, get yourself up, get on the fruit, berries, and melons, get on the brain and nerve, get on your detox programs where you're getting your kidneys to filter more. I would use either the stomach tea or GI Renew. If you can tolerate the brew, now we're going to have new names for our formulas, and so we'll introduce those as time comes on here, but they're coming. And you get yourself well, sweetie. I've got to cut this one off. I guess I blabbed my mouth too much, but when you have cases like this, these are very important cases. And the beauty of having the iris analysis, take a look. We can see where she's suffering. If we didn't have her eyes, would we know she had radius solaris at this level? Would we suspect brain leak? No. You can't see the level. When you get used to iridology, it's like, damn, you can really see things. And it's like, we're not medical, we're naturopathic. Naturopathic rests on the laurels of truth. We don't want theories. I don't want a theory. That means nothing to me. It means maybe. Well, maybe we can help you if you have a tumor and you're near death. Maybe. We don't maybe here. We do. And so, anyway, love you guys and hope you have this is going to be a short week. This is Wednesday already. Man, we got a lot going on there. Happened to change up some formulas a little bit because the herbs are very difficult. The sad one is false unicorn, and I knew it was going years ago. And I just keep trying to get it back. But false unicorn is probably the premier herb for females in every sense of the word. Both sides a balancing herb and just a great herb. Cramp bark, another one we're losing. And your antispasmodics. Cramp bark is a very powerful antispasmodic. Some of these are becoming unavailable. So this is difficult, in these formulas. So on and on. So right now, there's some formulas where we have some formulas coming. We have formulas that I'm tweaking because their lab is looking at these going, well, this is the problems we're having with these, and these, because I want everything to be harmonious. And the new antispasmodic formula, I can't help keep looking at it going, oh. So, but always treat your herbs nice. In your processing, you always treat your herbs nice. People have all levels of processing now where they destroy the herbs and they think that formula will be this is the same. No. Your lab is everything to the quality of that formula. I'm a formula maker. I can put herbs together. I've been doing this 53 years now, putting formulas together. And some of the herbalists out there, I see them going, what are you using that for? I have to laugh at them. I've had 53 years of clinicals with herbs of all levels. Some people freak out with even blood root or poke root. Really? A good fresh poke root. We're going to have fresh poke root in our lymphatic formulas. Yeah! I mean, got some good stuff. I'm going to make some of the things tastier with a little bit of orange peel and lemon peel. So we got some good stuff, some interesting stuff. Just a new line of herbs coming out, a little different. That's all. But sweetheart, for your sake, you really want to dig in and make this a life adventure. You've got the eyes that my rest of my life, my adventure is going to be getting my physical body healthy and expanding my awareness and enjoying my life. You're a psychotherapist. Start learning the spiritual side of that, and you could use that doorway to help enhance the self factor of an individual. Because a lot of psychiatry and psychology, to me, is more socialistic in its thinking. People are wanting to know who they are. They're wanting to touch that and become solid as an individual in that way. And I can tell you, no matter what case you have, you can wiggle in the back door through diet on them and help to balance out mental issues and emotional issues. But you must also realize there is a physical presence to mental issues and emotional issues. Where's your presence to your emotional issues? Your adrenal glands. How many people don't have adrenal gland weakness? Oh, I didn't see anybody raise their hand. So that's the other side of psychiatry. You have to understand, I worked with a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and she had a big center. Matter of fact, I gave her the moonshine yarrow because her clinic in Naples was assigned the Oklahoma bombing because her husband worked for the State Department. And so I sent moonshine yarrow out for the paramedics and stuff because those poor guys had never seen body parts like that and stuff like that, you know. And so a little moonshine yarrow can help say, oh, look, there's a leg of somebody's. So, you know, that was and she really got to see what flower essence can do in her practice. I was telling you that one time this girl was raped by her father, and she was just hysterical. And this psychiatrist, she was a doctorate, of course, and she was coming to see me for her problems. And so I had her on moonshine yarrow. And she takes the moonshine yarrow and sticks it about a half a dropper full down the throat of this girl. And this girl in a few minutes just, wow, sat down peacefully. And what was that? Wow. That's the beauty and magic of botanicals, essential oils, flower essences. Why flowers? Come on, Running Fox Farms. I need a video. Come on, sweetheart. People need to know the power of the flower. And I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about the power of the flower. We have a farm down here, a little higher consciousness lady that grows flowers to eat. You know, cool stuff. So anyway, take care of yourselves. Try to go through that alone door a little bit. You know, I even have it on TikTok. Try to stop thinking for some period of time. You know, we were laughing about the other day. I said, I got it on TikTok. Stop thinking for an hour. Stop thinking for one day. One day, you're just the observer of everything. A thought comes in, you stop it. You got to start watching your thoughts. That'll help you to watch your inner life a little more. Everybody's so focused outwardly that I can whisper to you and you can't hear me. But you'll get the message. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves and have a good weekend. If I can come in Friday and do another video, I'll get one out for you for the weekend. But, I've got to sit down with some formulas, and we're actually going to Home Depot, me and Matt here, and getting some, we've got shelves all over the place. We've got a brand new place all fixed up. It's really pretty. We need some we've got wire shelves. Now we need to get something to go over the wire shelves to make it solid, So we're going to have this. The guy's going to get mad at us, but I'm going to have the saw guy at Home Depot saw us, some shelves, wood shelves. And so we need about 50 of them. Oh, crap, man. He's going to go, what? We might have to do some cutting ourselves. I got a table saw at home, but that's a lot of work. I'd rather have them cut them right there at Home Depot. So got to run there after a bit. So love you guys and take care of yourselves and enjoy. Marco's getting our new handcrafted .health site up. And you'll see the formulas. You just won't have availability yet of them. But I'm trying to get, again, the system site up for you and expand it. I'm going to do a video for each system. And we might convince Pat to come in and we'll have some fun with the systems sometimes, I love education. And anything that you can learn to help yourself grow, to help to protect yourself, all those things, you got to do it because we live in a warring planet, guys. So be strong. Mm-hmm.